Diary entry, Lauren, age 31. 35 Aurora cycles after episode 1. Con's losing patience. The secrets keep stacking higher, chapter after chapter, and she's burning herself alive on the anticipation. She says she's excited, but I hear the edge in her voice. It's been teased too long, dangled just out of reach, and now it's worse than ever. She wants answers, not another trail of shadows. Jon, meanwhile, is celebrating like the war's already won. The tension finally snapped in those chapters, and he's practically foaming at the mouth, trying to figure out how to translate it into emojis. Subtlety's dead, and I think he prefers it that way. And Kyle, of all people, has found a man in fiction he can't immediately tear apart. No red flags, he says. Then he smirks and adds, yet. Still, it's a relief for him, and you can tell. A male lead who doesn't spend half his scenes wrapped in manipulation and lies? It's rare, maybe even impossible. But Kyle's savoring the novelty while it lasts. I think we all are.
Good job.
You guys are making me scared for the last episode.
Yeah, okay.
Welcome back to Between Pages and Friends, a book club podcast hosted by Con and Lauren, two besties who read a lot of books, and Jon and Kyle, their gamer-turned-reader husbands who've agreed to read with them. I'm Kyle.
I'm Jon.
I'm Con.
And I'm Lauren. You're listening to episode 5 of the Moonfall series by Sarah A. Parker. Today we're talking through When the Moon Hatched chapters 60 through 78. This is a book club podcast, meaning there will be no spoilers here for future chapters, so this is a safe space to debrief while we discuss.
Before we dive in, quick content alert. This podcast is not for innocent ears. When the Moon Hatched is best suited for adults, as are these conversations. We're about to read lines so steamy your Kindle might need a cold shower. Today's Emoji erotica is next level. And if you're as excited about that as we are, slap in those earbuds.
Okay.
That was so good. Oh my God.
That was not in the script.
That was
Want even more of us? Bold choice, but we love you for it. Join us on Patreon. For just $5 a month, you can be a book bestie and gain access to our Discord, monthly book talks, live hangs, and plenty of extra fun. But maybe you're not just here for fun. Maybe you're here to ascend. For $10 a month, you can join our Found Family tier and snag early ad-free episodes, shiny merch discounts, exclusive Discord chats, and voting power. We would love to get to know you more on Patreon.
And all of this wouldn't be possible without the amazing friends we've had since the start, or the ratings and reviews you give us, like this 5-star review on Apple Podcasts from our old bestie, Cliche Christie, titled, Join for the Books, Stay for the Friends. I'll admit it, I'm not a big podcast listener. It takes a really great pod to get me to listen and then stick around after episode 1. Between Pages and Friends did that. They had me cackling in the first episode like a deranged witch. Con, Jon, Kyle, and Lauren must all be magical because they cast a spell on me and I couldn't stop listening. It also helps that most of the books they've covered so far have been some of my absolute favorites. Not only is the podcast well thought out and the book analyzations and predictions are stellar, but it's hilarious as well. You'll be slipping up and saying inside jokes from the pod that literally no one will get if they haven't listened. Ribbit. I've enjoyed their podcast so much, I've decided to support their creative venture by joining their Patreon. I couldn't have made a better decision. Not only do I get to support my favorite book podcast, but I've made countless new friends and have found my book family. Thank you, Con, Jon, Lauren, and Kyle, for being such amazing people and letting me be a part of your book fam. I can't wait to see what comes next for you all. Heart emoji, Krista. P.S. The merch is top tier and everyone should go to the BPAF website and buy something after listening to the pod.
Krista, you are the best.
This is so sweet.
Thank you,
the best.
Krista.
Yeah, thank you. All right, it's time for Con's Declassified Fantasy Pronunciation Guide, the part of the show where we highlight all the new names and places mentioned in this chapter section. First up in places, we have Rambek, the village from chapter 61 that was destroyed by Dragonfire, the Path of Days, through which Noev brings Veya. This is south of Gore. In characters, we have Chief Throne, and then Blom, his dragon who torched Rambek and ultimately died. Grim, this is where we learn that Grim is Con's second in command. He also had a dragon who died named Inca, and then he is leaving in this section to pursue the Great Silver Saber Scythe. Zeki is Veya's dragon. Noev is the ancient old crone that Veya rides with through the Path of Days. Kadok gets a new nickname from Noev, his Imperial Shitstain. Just wanted to include that one for fun. And then Rowan, we learn, is Pyroc's brother, and Little Flame is the nickname that Pyroc is called at the Great Flirt. In world building, we have the Book of Void. I'm guessing this is the same thing as the Silver Book mentioned in the prologue that Kalis wrote on Ether. But in this section, the mind weft who gave Veya the bangle claimed to have studied the Book of Void and could speak the language of Ether. An Octomar is a bulbous creature with icy skin, lots of vine-like appendages, no eyes, and a tumorous head with transparent skin. They can weave promises upon flesh, binding them to blood, body, and soul. A Smox is a black swirling splotch that can transform into any creature, immediately inheriting its strengths and weaknesses. And lastly, we have some other world building terms, including ginkgo fruit, cormorants, goggenbirds, gongnuts, copperdew melon, squin curls, and nilical. And now, here to give you quite the recap, including 2 potential sections of emojis, Juan.
Oh, thank you. We start with a diary entry. Con playing the same song that her ma and pa used to sing to her when she was sick. She sings with him until she cries. Can't stop crying, actually, even when Con holds her tight in his arms. Back to the present with Con my Con having made it to the destroyed village and killing the dragon, wreaking havoc, but not exactly happy about it, but it had to be done. The villagers are saving crops, still managing the destruction as Con meets with Grim by a rebuilt fence. Grim asks for some vacation time to go to Gondra to raid the nest of the great silver saber scythe. Apparently, he lost his previous dragon and is ready to move on. Con offers to drop him off at the hut in Gondra, and we catch up with Veya, still making her way to the shade, traveling by cart on the questionably narrow path of days to avoid her presence being known to Kadok. She's traveling with Noev, a familiar and trusted companion through these parts. They catch up a bit as they go, Veya making a comment about hearing Noev sneaking folk out of the city for the queen, with Noev replying, not since she tried to stall an execution, to Veya's surprise, clearly rave here, although Veya obviously doesn't know that, but definitely confirmed after Noev mentions that it was a member of the Fjord du Ath. She then asks Veya why she's here, Veya claiming that she left something the last time she was here, tossed it down a trash chute, actually. Noev tries to tell her about the velvet trog, but Veya already knows, plans to confront the creature and get it back. Another diary entry, Eloin finally getting used to her and Con's routine when he suddenly doesn't show for 7 nights, but a fresh meal still at the door. She puts all of that frustration and longing into her training with Veya. Con, you playing the game, player? You playing the game? And we're back to Veya finding the trash chute and squirming her way down into a cavern full of mountains of organized garbage, blue tendrils hanging from the ceiling. My nightmare. Literally, this sounds disgusting. Okay, it's so gross. She spies a glittery mound at one end, which she assumes will hold what she's looking for. She eases her way toward it, hears some chewing, and spies the velvet trog eating a chair, wearing the bangle like a crown. Veya grabs another chair, not being quiet as she just like drags it. I imagine like nails on a chalkboard type of thing. She's just like, I'm here. It's like, anyway. Drags it over and plops down. She tells the trog what she's here for. It tells her that things have memories, and the richer the memory, the more blue goo she makes out of her hand holes. Veya has a trade ready, though. Her Ma's Malmer, gifted by her pa, King Ostern, plus the catch chain from the bangle as a bonus. And they have a deal, the trog promptly gulping down the catch chain. And with that, Veya has what she came for. Another diary entry, Con back and playing a tune while Eloin eats. Emotion overwhelms her and her feelings for Con show as she gets close enough for a light kiss. She grabs the key, but he takes her into a more forceful but desired kiss as someone comes running up looking for him, almost catching them. Ooh, forbidden love, it's the best kind. Over to Rave, finally, in her newly rediscovered jungle home. She gets comfortable and brings out her new journal as we get a unique Rave diary entry. She writes about her struggle to leave this place and the memories that continue to flash through. She states that she has come to a decision to leave her memories behind. We catch up with Con having returned to Dom, telling Pyroc about dropping off Grim at Gondra. He tries to catch up on his quote-unquote paperwork, a handful of crumpled unanswered parchment larks. Pyroc of no help whatsoever, but offering up that Rave is still around, seen shopping around the market. With the Great Flirt coming up, they recall the last one was the last time that they saw Rave alive. Con heads out to his office balcony, looking out at the west, and spies Rave jumping stones, casting a glance back to Raigun's hutch. Ooh. We get another diary entry. Elwyn's affections for Con still growing, and she witnesses a tithe. Con stepping in for his father. She sees his softer hand here as he speaks with each person or family that comes through, even offering gold in place of receiving it in some cases. And she considers how forbidden their relationship is. And we're back to Rave, sleeping soundly. Well, soundly aroused in a wave of pulsing moisture as we get round 2 of When the Moon Hatched mini-segment, Dreamoji Erotica. Emoji Erotica. In your dreams.
Yay!
Yay!
Emojis!
Dreamy. All right. Praying hands. Hammer. Like open hand, like grippy hand. Kissy face, flip-flop, ruler, eggplant, door, lip bite. And that's our mini segment of Dreamoji Erotica. Perfect, Lauren. Yeah, it's listen.
The ruler.
That's the same thing she said after she read the chapter. That's it.
Don't worry. It's coming.
It'll come.
Oh, what?
You know what I mean? And with Rave's thoughts sliding deeper into our emotions, she awakes to a pair of saber scythes. Thank you. She awakes to a pair of saber scythes kicking off their own flirt. She heads out to get a better view of whatever's happening, hearing the drums from the city. She spies a basket on the tree with the knot that she saw when she came in, and inside, a delicate silk dress, a mask, pair of heels, and a note that says, "Dance with me."
And Con's Malmer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I didn't even... Yeah, thanks for that addition. I didn't even remember that was in there. And she gives us a glimpse of her plan. Give them one night before she erases it all. Her words, not mine. Diary entry from Elwyn, again visiting Slaughter's hutch to find a parchment lark and a key. She activates it and follows to the home in the jungle where Con is waiting, and she jumps him. Back to the present. Rave now in her gifted dress and mask as she enters the city. Pyrock waiting to escort her. Rave asks if he knew her before. He replies yes, a long time ago. Want to know anything? And she promptly responds no. They come to a path that splits off to 3 separate domes, each one a faux representation of the 3 nesting grounds, Netherin, Bogoth, and Gondra. She asks where Con is. It was an autocorrect.
That's so good.
It autocorrected my note. It says, she asks where Con is. Pork nods to Gondra. Definitely not pork. All right. She asks where Con is. Pyrock nods to Gondra, and so she sets off toward Netherin, typical, as she fights some emotional tugging back toward Gondra. In the Netherin Dome, she grabs a drink and spies 2 lofty pillars at another entrance, feeling a pool, so she follows it. Met with a guard, Pyrock tells her that it's basically a VIP high roller room for Scrippy. She grabs a pouch of gold off of him, heads inside, straight to the table, uses said gold as a buy-in, and starts to offer favors through the Octomar as her wagers. The other players taunt her, but she makes quick work of them, winning every hand, before Con finds her, looking a bronze king. She gets another brief vision here, and we get a lot more of their emotional history, also confirming that she did bind with, assumedly, Tyroth, that Elwyn had secrets of her own, that Con loves her, and finally, they decide on a game of Scrippy, a wager. If Con wins, she has to answer 3 of his questions truthfully. If Rave wins, they pretend that they're back in that life until Aurora rise, at which point he will owe her a single wish, which is to allow a Mindweft to erase her memory of him. Overcome with emotion, she tries to leave at one point, but she's bound to their deal by the Octomar, and she eventually wins. As Con battles internally, she approaches his side of the table and asks him to dance. She guides Con to the dance floor. They bump and grind to some Usher, a little Jodeci, but Con is reluctant with the emotional toll, and he can see that she's lost someone and realizes that she thinks she doesn't deserve what they could have, that something bad will happen if she opens up. They agree that this is probably a bad idea. Rave was just trying to give him a perfect goodbye, but he doesn't want a perfect goodbye. He just wants her. He wants all of her, forever, him and her, every day, and it's not going to be easy. It's going to be really hard, and they're going to have to work at it every day, but he wants to do that because he wants her. Nobody? Anybody? Somebody will get it. Somebody will get it.
That's very nice.
Thanks.
Yep.
Man, nobody knows?
I mean, I can tell you quoted something. But
Yeah.
I don't know what it's.
I would have recognized it.
Would you have if
Yeah.
I hadn't told you?
Yeah.
All right.
What is it?
It's from the Notebook.
Okay, Sure.
Okay, all right.
Honestly,
Someone
was
go-
getting
someone
that
get it.
vibe, but I was like, I don't know. I only remember the what do you want?
Oh yeah.
If you're a bird, I'm a bird.
I should have
That's
meant
what I
there. Dang
remember.
it. I should have put that in there. Anyway, they dance, bodies getting too close, emotions too high. When Con catches a saber scythe plummeting toward the dome, spewing dragon flame. Although the domes are ruined, he steps in front of Rave to protect her, only to realize that she's hidden behind one of the pillars, unlike her, as if hiding from something else. And then she just takes off. He gives chase and they play a little cat and mouse as he becomes certain that she is indeed hiding something. He makes her come out, she makes him close his eyes, and she showers him with gentle kisses. More flooding motions. Our hearts flood with happiness. More cat and mouse as she leads him to the clearing at the top under a bright moon. Oh, I wanted to ask, was this supposed to be Hayes Perch, the moon? Because it's still up there. For some reason, I thought this was Hayes Perch.
It is, but it's all the way back at the wall or whatever. Like
Okay,
the moons
cool,
don't
cool.
rotate.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
So it would be way back. Okay.
Yeah, all right. As he realizes she would rather be alone for eternity than face the loss and her past, but he feels the responsibility to bring it to light. He sees the real her for the first time, a perfect blend of Rave and Elowen. And we get another diary entry from Elowen in their special home in the jungle. She doesn't want to leave, but knows that they're spending this borrowed time in a bubble. He offers her his Malmer, and she takes it, telling her how he retrieved the scale from the great silver saber scythe to carve the pale half. And she begs the creators to keep Con safe. Back to present moment in the dome, Rave wakes to a thunderstorm in Con's arms as she recalls how they got here from the night before. Remembering their pact, she tries to dip, but he catches her as it's technically still Aurora Rise, and they still have to have that conversation that he spoke of. But first things first, I said a bang. Bang, bangity bang. I said a bang, bang, bangity bang. A bang, 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 bangity bang. I said a bang, bang, bangity bang. A bang, 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 bangity bang, bangity bang. All right. Thanks,
Kyle
Kyle.
just stood there.
Look, I don't know, man. I'm left out of that reference.
Can you at least
What
give
is
me a
that?
bang?
Is that from SpongeBob?
No.
All right. In what is technically When the Moon Hatched's first full emoji erotica, people. Yeah, no more mini segment. This is the real deal.
Oh, yeah.
Emoji erotica. All right. Chess pawn. Little pinch hand. Question mark. Nerd face. Little swirly thing. 2 fingers. Rose. The little like rock thing, you know. Wave. Ball of yarn. Disco ball. Kissy face. Finger pointing down. Eggplant. Tongue. Lollipop. Snake. Parentheses. Treble clef. And an 8 in parentheses. Lauren, that one's for you. And then another one, parentheses, demon, and a Band-Aid, end parentheses. Flip-flop, question mark, period. And I just have to set this next one up, folks, because every time that I have done emoji erotica on this podcast, I have scrolled past this emoji and have just wished that I could use it in some form or another just because I think it's hilarious. And I've always wanted to use it and literally had the perfect opportunity in this one. So after the period is the curling stone. Just incredible. Oh my God. I'm so happy about it. All right. Do you know what I'm talking about, Lauren? Do you know the sport curling? Yeah, the thing that they use, curling stone. Oh my God, I'm so happy. Boxing glove, leg, tongue, sword, bunny, ice cream cone, yield sign, green check mark, big eye, boxing glove, red balloon, rose, the lip bite, the like flustered, blushy face, lion, beer, question mark, the like stop hand, and a pregnant man.
Are you that pregnant man?
I was just wondering that.
Yeah, that last one's just for me. And that's this week's Emoji Erotica, people.
That's amazing.
Emoji Erotica. Oh, and it's a good thing I'm sitting down, folks. And Con won't stand for this either. He decides that he will not just allow Rave to erase him. So he makes a new deal out of this exchange, trading pleasure for power, claiming that there is someone else out there who needs her, but the truth he has to offer isn't easy, and it's gonna hurt.
Well, thanks, Jon, for everything. Let's dive right in. Our first chapter area today is a diary entry, Elowen's diary entry, where she talks about hearing Con play that song that her ma and pa sang to her when she was sick. She cried, and she lists the reasons for her crying. She cried for her ma and pa, for Hadian and Illum, for Slotch, for things that were taken from me, and for the voice I'm not allowed to use, and then cried again at Con's caring embrace. So, Elowen on the cry counter, officially? I mean, it was 4 little segments, so granted, she did list more people, but I'm giving her at least 4 on the cry counter.
Nice.
Which,
wow.
being the official leader of the cry counter, still makes Connor number 1. With
Don't
5.
worry, you have not been dethroned.
You still got it, Con.
Dang it. Great. I'm so happy. I'll work on my acceptance speech for next week.
Just through tears.
It's just me crying.
Relatable.
So that takes us to chapter 61, which is a Con POV. This is when he's walking through Rambeck. And this first note, I just thought was so interesting. I didn't realize that this was possible or that Con could have known this ahead of time. But he's talking about how he had to take down Blom, which was Chief Throne's dragon. And in his POV, it says, I could have done it here, but I wanted to give him somewhere private to curl up since it was clear he wasn't going to make it into the sky. As it was, he didn't manage to curl up at all. Didn't solidify, just died and will eventually rot where he lies. So it was just some interesting world building. I feel like they've mentioned it before, like a dragon that didn't make it up, but I don't remember why, or even what was going on with Blom here, like why he started, did he go mad?
Yeah,
It was like he was like rabid in a way or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And I think the
so
other ones
sad.
that don't make it up there are also like sick for whatever reason. Like they literally don't have the energy to make it up there, but to calcify.
Or that they were killed by people, I think. It was mentioned because I think when they were talking about like the currency in the Fade, that was mentioned. But yeah, didn't he have like a tick on him or something that they didn't find and he turned rabid? I thought that's what it was.
For Blom specifically,
Yeah.
or for a different dragon? Oh, I don't remember
I thought
that.
so.
I felt like I was missing something. Like I had to go back and read the beginning of the chapter a couple times because I was like, what happened here? But that would make more sense if that was explained earlier. I just forgot. And then I had a little God's Watch where it says the downpour that came just after the beast was slain, as though Rain herself was crying over the loss of the majestic saber scythe, Rhaegon slung to the base of a gully, releasing his own tortured shriek that rivaled the howling wind. And then you had more to that?
Yes, it continues. It says the ground had rattled just as much as my fucking bones. And Khan speaking there. And I loved this part of like the world building in this instance. It was like a really awesome glimpse into the Burns culture of like caring and respecting and like honoring dragons instead of seeing them as a means to an end or like killing them for currency as they talked about some of the other like areas do. So this was just another part of that culture that was a lot different, as we see like Rave kind of pointing out as she's walking around. So I really like this. This is,
Yeah.
I mean, it was sad, but it was kind of nice to see them in a different light.
Yeah, that's true. I also was hardcore shipping Veya and Grimm in this chapter, even though this is literally all we get. It says Grimm and Veya are cast from the same stone. I'm almost certain they'll quietly dance around each other for eternity. But also after finishing this section, I'm like pretty worried for Veya. So I hope that we do end up getting more from these two. But I'm like worried these are just little teasers for something that's never going to happen.
Are you not really worried for Grimm?
I think Grimm's gonna bond with the Great Silver Saber Scythe and come back as like a total badass.
With the not one of the eggs, the actual. Oh wow,
Yeah, that's what I think.
fancy.
I feel like that would suck for his character because like they just kind of like, yeah, he's going off to Gondra and there's like, oh, he died.
It would suck.
But
I don't
that's
want him to die.
normal.
Well, okay, poor guy.
I know it's
But anyway,
normal.
Like a similar note, though, speaking of Grimm, we find out that he's leaving to go like pursue the dragon eggs. And Khan says, I took you there and drop you near the hatching hut, feeling his gaze on me as I stalk toward the village. Least I can do since it's probably the last time I'll see your sorry ass again. And I was like, don't even know the guy, but I am so rooting for Grimm.
He's been in this like 2 scenes, and we're all like,
know,
yeah,
yeah.
go Grimm.
Come on, man.
Yeah, love him. But this is the thing, though. This is why. It's because when you make plans in a fantasy novel and explain them this clearly, it's not going to happen. This is not the last time he's going to see him. I think he's going to do something even more amazing. That's why I think he's going to bond with the big one. And I'm so happy for him in advance. Really hope he doesn't actually die or I will be so sad.
Calcify.
Calcify.
Ready to count those chickens before they hatch.
So chapter 62 is a Veya POV, and Veya says, I intend to die doing something brilliant and heroic, not free falling to my doom. And this is the opposite, where I was like, damn, so Veya's definitely gonna die, isn't she?
Oh no. So Grim comes back all high and mighty and cool on a big dragon, and Veya dies?
Well, maybe. Or she gets kidnapped or something. I don't know that I have theories about this later, but I just am a little worried for her. I don't want anything to happen to her. I love Veya. I love getting her POV.
I love her too.
I'm just concerned.
Sure.
Can't say things like that.
Yeah, that's true. With her, it's describing like her travel plans and how she's getting into the area so that she can go find the spangle or whatever. And she was saying that she couldn't fly because that would be like a public announcement basically to her brother. So instead she's like sneaking it. She's like making this walk or whatever through some of the old abandoned hutches. And she said it would be the safest since I'd rather risk falling off this very sheer cliff than tempt a run-in with Kadok, at least until I finally get a chance to meet him in a battle ring and cut off his head. And I was like, yes, let's make that happen. I would be here for this fight because she won her own Tuca trial and she's beat all those other men and whatever. And so for her to face off one of the douchebag brothers and then Con can face off the other brother, it'd be epic.
Oh, that would be epic.
So here for that.
That would be epic. And Con deserves to cut off Tyroth's head.
Theories.
Yeah.
There you go.
Your thoughts and theories.
We're getting to the end of the book, so at some point I get to jump in too.
I can't wait.
And then John mentioned this in the chapter recap, but she is talking to, is it Noev?
Yeah.
Noev. Okay. So she's talking to Noev and is talking about how Noev used to help sneak folk out of the city for the queen, but she had to stop since the queen tried to stall one of the executions. And then that's when Noev calls him I believe word got back to his imperial shit stain, which is just like the best. And his imperial shit stains in like italics in the book.
Yes.
Like it's like emphasis on this title, which is so funny.
Love it.
But I just loved seeing that through all of the story, we get a little bit of this queen back in like Elowyn POVs. And then we only get that little tiny bit of her in that moment with Rave. And so now we get a little bit more of how she's been sneaking behind the king's back, helping sneak people out of the city and stuff. So I just love that she seems to be on like team good guy doing stuff. So
true.
Super random. So I brought this up to Con. It could be like way far out there. When I was rereading for my recap, when I read this, I was like, I wonder if she helped get Tarek's family out, if that was like some people because remember they like when she killed him, she said like his family was able to make it out or something, and his bind like gave them all the information or whatever. So I was just curious about that, if that had any implications. Probably not, because it's like so far removed from the story or whatever, but
it could be.
It was kind of interesting
because that part of the story has to come back at some point. So it could be that. It has to. I was also wondering if one of the people that she helped sneak out for the queen was Prince Turin, whatever his name is, because it said that he had like the king was all too happy to hide him, and then he had like mysteriously disappeared or run away or something like that. And so I feel like if he was going to get out and the king didn't want anything to do with him, that maybe she helped him escape that way or something. I don't know.
what if she's like the Elding or whatever it was?
Ooh,
The main
like running the
person over
flourish.
and over the Fear Duath or something. And she's like the head of the all of it. Wouldn't that be wild?
Yo, that would be sick.
fun.
Yeah.
That's good.
Interesting.
That's good. Nice.
I hope this is like a real theory and we don't actually meet the Elding at the end of this book.
I am full on. We have 65 pages left of this book. We do not have very much left.
We don't.
So we are
I'm
also
scared.
feeling the thoughts and theories over here, trying to figure out whatever's coming.
That would be cool though.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. In Veya's POV, it says she is reaching into her pocket for her fire weld. And then it says, well, Con's old fire weld I stole when I was young, imagining I'd need it one day, or more to the point, wishing, hoping, wasted hopes they were. Okay, so I'm taking this to mean, but I am opening it up to the floor as well, that Veya knows Con is Dagamork, and she was hoping that she would be too, but she's not, or just that she knows he can hear Ignos and she can't. So I was wondering if we knew which gods Veya can hear, if any, or if this was about the wielding dragonfire thing, because you have to have them. Isn't there a type of weld that you have to be like Dagamork in order to create?
Yeah, so that's what I just looked up. It says a weld is just a small handheld device that's ruined to be able to contain different elements in their purest form, like fire, air, water, ground, and even dragon flame. Though these wields are rare, as they require the blood of a Dagamork to construct. So I don't know why Con being Dagamork would matter for her in this sense.
So maybe it's just the fire part, because it's
That's
a
what I
fire
asked.
weld.
I would think it would just be the fire
That's what I assumed,
Yeah.
yeah.
part,
Okay.
like she just couldn't hold the fire. I don't think it has to do with Dagamork.
Okay. Cool. I was just wondering. Good talk.
But I don't know what else she possesses or like whatever.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't even know, because like in the burn, they don't like wear beads and stuff the same way they do
Right.
in the shade. So like, I don't even know how many she can wield. I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Veya is still on her little adventure, and she talks about to Noev how she left something in Gore, and Noev says, well, how long ago? So then she says, I think back to the moment just after the blank in my head, the inky smudge that somehow feels both void and unfathomably hefty. And she says, over 100 phases ago? I think we're all thinking that she blocked out this whole like Elwyn situation would be my guess, but like didn't Elwyn die like isn't it 123 phases
Yeah.
or something like that?
Yeah.
So she's saying over 100, so I guess maybe the timelines match up. If that
I
is what it is.
assumed so because of John's next note.
Oh,
Okay, so in Veya's point of view, as she's talking to Noev here, she thinks, there's next to no chance of me finding Elwyn's diary without this particular piece of jewelry I stupidly decided to part with many phases ago, tossing it down the chute like some cursed trinket. Certain it had something to do with the reason I had a blank spot the size of 30 Aurora cycles smudged in my mind. And this was shocking to read, especially, you know, coming off of knowing Rave and like she's got the whole memory thing going on. And I was just thinking like, okay, so like when did this happen? And I think I was thinking more of like what was going on in Veya's life specifically that this occurred.
Yeah, so I don't know if this means that she had this like whole month erased around Elwyn's death. But the more I think about it, I'm like, maybe she found and read Elwyn's diary before and learned something that she wasn't supposed to know, or like something that would be too dangerous for her to know. So she had some sort of like valuable information about Elwyn's death and couldn't risk it being shared, and like maybe had her mind wiped. Or my other thought was that whatever happened around her death was just too painful for her to remember. But I just thought it was interesting that she specifically said, there's no chance of me finding this diary without this particular piece of jewelry because of the memories that it holds.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're about to find out something crazy from Veya.
well, she has to have a POV for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, like obviously she's going on this little side adventure for us to follow, but it wouldn't be in the book if it wasn't important.
Oh man, that's why I'm nervous.
All right. Well, throughout this chapter section, there's a bunch of little tiny diary entries that Elwyn has. And so this is one that comes up in chapter 63 that we don't really have any notes about, but it does exist. In chapter 64, we're back with Veya, and she just says like, next time life throws me a magical bangle, I'm just going to put it in my jewelry box. And I was like, great idea, girl. And so she's, whatever Jon says, Jon said in his chapter recap that she squished her way down, or she used a word that Connor and I both just gave an ick face to. I don't remember what word you said about how she got her way down through the trash chute to where the velvet trog is. Are you looking for it?
You're muted. Classic.
Classic. I think it was squirmed.
Squirmed,
Ugh.
maybe, or
Was that what it was?
squelched, one of those. Yeah. Either way, gross, because she went down the trash chute, and she's down there and she's trying to find wherever the bangle is, and it says, something glints in my peripheral, my gaze latching onto a silver gem crusted bangle sitting on top, her being the velvet trog's head, like a tiny crown, my silver gem encrusted bangle. And I was like, of course, something from over 100 years ago. So this thing, of all the things that get thrown away, thinks is cute and is just going to plop on its head.
How convenient.
Classic.
But that also, again, I'm like, there's got to be some serious shit being stored on that Bengal hard drive.
Yeah.
I mean, it ate the chain and it was like freaking out about it. And that wasn't even the actual bangle itself.
No.
So.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Which, my next note is that this thing is eating a chair. So, I mean, if it'll eat literally anything, then maybe the Bengal is really that special. But a chair.
Chomp,
Yeah, first
chomp.
we had seat sniffers and now chair chompers.
Chair jumpers.
Well, and, like, what memory does that chair have? Just a
Remembers a
people
lot.
sitting on it. Like,
It's
I
a
don't
chair
know.
from Onyx Storm. It's got some pretty juicy ones.
A lot of butts on that thing.
Yikes.
Wow.
A trog's an ass man.
I mean, so Connor, is the velvet trog still hot? I mean,
It does have 4 arms.
It does. Have forearms.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
and it's great at remembering even other people's memories.
It would come in handy for me, I feel like. 'Cause I can't remember anything. I was going to say, though, that I love Sarah Mola Christensen's narration for the Velvet Trog. Like, the voice that she uses is so great. And I love that the Trog keeps calling Veya a morsel. I know it's, like, kind of creepy, but it just kept making me laugh. And then the Trog keeps pulling this blue fluorescent silly string from her palm holes. Like Spider-Man
hate
is all
that.
I'm imagining now.
Spider-Man. That's
But
amazing.
she says the richer the memory, the more of this I make, which is disgusting, but it's also super interesting and just like a crazy bit of world building that she just threw in there. And then she says, "Isn't my palace pretty?" And Veya replies, "Very pretty. I wish I could secrete like that." I put the gif from Finding Nemo where Dory's like, "Wow, I wish I could speak whale." And then Donkey going, "I like that boulder." That is a nice boulder.
I really liked how even it seemed unaware of what was going on. Like, the better the memory, the more of this. Didn't even
Whatever
have a
this
name
is.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The stuff that comes out of my hands.
Well, and like when it ate the chain, the whatever secretion came out was like extra shiny or
Yeah.
bright and stuff. So like, does that mean something? Does it? I have no idea.
Maybe.
But it was the use of the words palm holes for me the whole entire time. Every time that came up, absolutely not. Big no.
It's so weird.
Yeah, so weird. So Veya decides to trade her Ma's Malmer that she has, that she stole from King Ostern back in the day and stuff. And so that's like a whole little moment. I think that's also a big moment for maybe Veya, I guess, to give up something from her mom since she doesn't even know her mom. And that seems like a really big thing. So whatever she's obviously going for with this bangle is majorly important. And then it says that I grind my teeth together, surprised they don't chatter. So I know that it's not a jaw tick, but we don't have any other in this chapter section. So jinkies.
Stay hydrated somehow.
Take what you can get.
And then, yeah, and then this is what I was just talking about, that the trog eats the bangle chain and it says, "Oh, you are a naughty little morsel, aren't you?" And then Veya says, "Don't remember using it, just remember what it does." And I'm like, "Oh, but what does this mean? Why is she a naughty little morsel?" There's so many implications that could mean.
And why is there a chain on the bangle? Isn't a bangle like a bracelet?
Wouldn't it be like the chain that, like, I thought it was like the chain holding a larger piece. And now it's no longer a bangle. She just has like the
Oh, I guess I was imagining like
the charm, if you will.
I was imagining like this, just like the solid metal bangles. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you can have like chained bangles.
That's what's on the internet. Is like those silver encrusted bangles and people selling them with like moon stuff on it from when the moon hatched.
Oh,
Chained bangles.
Like it's merch from this, but
There they are.
or
That'd
maybe
also
they're
be a
just
good band
moon-faced
name.
bangles.
chained. Well, you mean like the bangles?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. It could just be like a
Bangle with
yeah,
a chain.
yeah. Okay. Anyway, I was just confused
It's like
about
she
the chain
described
part.
it in the book.
Great. Awesome. Something that I noted, just because I feel like it's going to be important, but I don't know exactly how, is Veya asks how many people Noev has struck a bargain with. And I think it said that she thinks about it for a while. And then she says 6, including you. So that feels like it will be like, maybe that will come back at some point, which would be interesting if she is the Elding. But yeah, I
It'd
don't
be
know.
funnier if it was just Veya 6 times and she just constantly loses those memories.
She
And keeps coming
doesn't
back.
know.
Like, this is like the 6th time this has happened. Yeah. So
6, including you. And it's just her.
Every time.
That's so good.
I also thought about this for a little bit, and I wasn't sure if it meant that a lot of people come down here and they don't make trades or deals, or like a lot of people die, or however, because she says they don't get to walk out unless they make a deal.
Wait, I
Or-
said Noev. I meant the Trog, right? That's the part that we're at.
Yeah.
I typed
I'm
the
with
wrong
you.
thing. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. I definitely said no Ev though.
Oh, that the trog struck a bargain. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I couldn't decide if it meant that Veya was like lucky, I guess, if a lot of people go down there and then don't survive that interaction, or if it's just trying to emphasize how risky or how dumb it was because not many people go down there, I guess is what I'm getting at. Like, that's how I took it.
I was assuming that there were a lot who tried,
Yeah.
but only 6 had succeeded. Because doesn't she say, like, what happens to the people you don't make bargains with? And they just die, right? Yeah.
Also think about, like, in this city and what we know about it, how many people were probably unwillingly put down there with, like, nothing good to trade. So
Good point.
she's probably just like, yeah, you've got nothing, so you're dead.
Yep.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Literally. Okay, well, as Veya is leaving, she says, I move around the piles of trash, arm heavy with the bangle I once won from a deeply troubled mind weft who claimed she knew how to speak the language of the ether, that she'd studied the Book of Void in length, and she knew the secret to our insignificant existence. She told me the bangle would serve me in 2 ways, that both would be painful but necessary. Don't remember the first, so can't speak of that. Probably won't want to remember the second either. So first of all, what? Excuse me. But I wonder if this is like the mind weft that erased her memories, maybe? Like gave her this bangle and then also helped erase those 30 days or whatever. I don't know.
This is interesting, though, because it says she won the bangle from this mind weft. Were they playing
deeply
Scrippy?
troubled mind weft? Yeah, maybe.
It is interesting that this bangle could do that because the mind weft knew the language of ether. And,
Or so it said.
Or so it said. And saying that studying the book, they knew the secret to the insignificant existence. I just want to know what Kazari knows. It's killing me. Oh. She's the only other... Kazari's the only other character we know of that understands the language of ether. So I want to know what she freaking knows.
Oh, Kizari. Yeah. I was thinking Veya. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. Well, we go into a diary entry with Elowin, who is now 19. And I had a few notes here about just how much I love all these interactions with Con. So first of all, this is when Con comes back with his Malmer and gives it to Elowin. But I'm like, he had this made before they were even together, which I just thought was so sweet. And then he begins playing the Song of the Silent Sun. And Lauren, you were saying that you were trying to figure out what her calming song was. Is this it?
I don't know, because earlier he was playing the song her ma and pa used to sing when she was a kid.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. There's a lot of songs.
There are a lot
what
of
I'm going to ask when we interview Sarah A. Parker is for her to sing all the songs for me. And our interview is actually just a concert by Sarah A. Parker.
We'll say, don't worry, we'll get the background.
Lauren pulls out her recorders.
A bang, 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 bang.
This is interesting because this is only the second named song we've had, I think, in the entire book. Well, the third maybe, because there was the Jolly Wee Drifter song. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I don't know. So she sings the Ballad of Falling Dragons, but yeah, maybe this Song of the Silent Sun is something. I'm just trying to figure out what that means. Anyway.
Yeah.
I have to wonder if it came from the shade, because like the sun's never there. That would make sense to me, like, oh, it's a silent sun. But that's the only thing I ever thought of.
Good point.
But then how does Con know that?
Well, he knew the song her mom and
well-traveled
pa
man.
sang when she was
that's
a
also
kid.
true.
So
He wrote them. He wrote them all.
maybe when he was gone for 7 days, he went on a song tour to try to find all the songs that would mean something to her. So when he came back,
And he came back with 2. Found 2 across
He
the
would,
whole
though.
world.
He would do
would.
that for her. Absolutely.
would.
And I just love him so much. In her POV, it says, he cupped my face with such tenderness. It was like he was cradling a dragon's egg, and I nuzzled his palm. Found so much comfort in it that I wanted to stay right there forever. Then he asked me what I wanted, and I told him my truth. 1 3-letter word that weighed too much, being promised to his kin, you. So this was just a really cute, I put the melting in my hoodie graphic from our sticker. Because this is so cute. I like this little recurring thing that they have with like forever and you. It's very sweet. And then she also does say being promised to his kin. So she's still technically promised to Tyroth here is how I'm interpreting that. But just very sweet, and I just love him. And then my next note is when in her POV it says, I pulled away with the key in my hand, just unlocking the door when he gripped me from behind, swung me around, ripped off my veil, and kissed me with such ravenous intention. I lost myself, found myself, and I wrote, I love him so much in all caps. My man.
And near the end of this chapter, she's still sort of mid-swoon, saying she doesn't feel like Hadeon anymore. She feels like a loom wobbling along, being forged into something strong, but despite my broken bits, perhaps I'll fly too. And the song What If I Fly by Cody Fry has played a lot on my Spotify recently. And after reading this, it has become like associated with her in my mind. It's a very good song if you've not heard it. But
I
it's
haven't heard it.
Yeah, it's a good. Cody Fry in general, I think, is a great artist.
Oh, can you sing it?
No.
Oh, I thought he was looking at Minnie. She's like, ooh, what? She's peeking her head in.
She's like, I want to hear the song.
It's a great song. We'll drop it in
It is a great
Discord.
song. Yeah.
What If I
was hoping
Fly
we could-
by Cody Fry. He's like, sings all these songs, but like with orchestras. So it's like
very
when he
orchestral.
tours, he like plays, like he'll sing with like the Philharmonic of places and like the city orchestra and stuff. And so it's like all his songs have this big, epic orchestral sound.
Chances are you have heard one of his songs, but you may not know him by name.
Anyways, go look it up. Okay, bye.
Going into chapter 66, rave chapter here. My first note was I just had to laugh at gong nuts. So it made me chuckle.
Strong start.
It
Strong,
was literally
strong.
in the Kindle app. It was just the word gong nuts highlighted, and the whole note was bah.
Accurate. And then Rave's gaze flicks to the diary she acquired from the curly... Wait, is that my note? What?
I think so.
Yes, that's your note.
Yeah, okay. So, yes. She's in the place. She's in the jungle. She in the jungle here?
She's in the
Right?
jungle, baby.
She's in the jungle.
Yes,
She's
yeah,
in the
she's
jungle
in
home.
like their little home, or
Okay.
their dwelling.
She's in the jungle home. She pulls out her diary that she got from the curly quill. And my thinking was that somehow maybe he saw, just didn't say, but I feel like Vroon knew that she had kept a diary before, and that's why he gave her a new one. So I was just wondering if it like served some other purpose. I don't know.
It also
I mean,
had a
I feel
silver
like
moon
he
I'm
would-
questioning
plume on it.
everything. It did have a moon plume on it, yeah.
I mean, I think he would know she kept one only because he like literally read every single detail of her entire life while they were together for that like
You
10
wefted
minutes.
her mind.
Yep.
Yeah, he wefted it up real good.
Oh my god. Yes, he did.
So, I don't know. Maybe he thought it would be like some good therapy
Yeah.
just to write it all out.
Yeah, that's true. He did offer to help drain her frozen lake. Maybe
that's true.
that's the secret, is not having secrets. I don't know.
Yeah.
Solid start.
But speaking of the diary, Rave writes her first diary entry, and we get the same header style in the text that we do for the Elowen diary entry chapters, which was like oddly so satisfying. But she wrote name Rave-ish, age wish I knew, and then she put date and location, and then underneath that put Elding Blade / Fallen Moon piece with a question mark, which was really interesting that she like described her own self that way. Just thought that was kind of fun.
It took me a minute to be like, Elding Blade. Oh, yeah. It feels like forever ago that she was an Elding Blade.
It
And it was
does.
just the beginning of this book. So much has happened. Well, she's doing all of this while Con goes off on his little adventure to kill that dragon and do his whole stuff with Grimm and all of those things. And Con said that he was going to go away for 30 days or 30 aurora cycles was like the estimated time he'd be gone, plus the time that he was gone to help Grimm get to wherever he was going. So assumedly it's probably been more than that. But either way, I appreciated this little time apart that they had, or even just for Rave to have this time like to herself, that she could like process literally all that she had learned.
Yes.
And I don't know, maybe just like heal a little bit, get a new perspective to a certain extent. And obviously like she's not 100%, like she is going to like pretend to have this whole like Elowen Con moment for Con or like whatever else she comes up with. But still, I think just for both of them to have that little bit of separation was good for them and for their relationship before we see it continue. And I thought it was
Yeah.
really well done in the book where it doesn't feel like 30 days later. Like instead it's just like it continues and all of a sudden it's been like
Yeah.
30 plus days, but you don't really like notice that unless you are taking it slow like we are and putting that together.
That's true. I appreciate that.
And she's like still reflecting and whatnot as she's writing, and just she's kind of remembering things, thinking through things. And it says, intuition tells me that I don't have the capacity to swallow all that sadness, which is why I've come to a decision. Now I just have to build up the courage to do it, to let this go for good, but not now. I'm not done imagining yet. And I was like, this makes me so incredibly sad, but also at the same time, like after this, it seems like Elowen is like truly lost. Like I was thinking it was some kind of amnesia, but it seems like a lot stronger than just that. Like there's not anything that will just like snap her back. And she's like, oh yeah, that's right. Like I'm Elowen. I've loved Con and all this stuff. But I was curious as to what specifically happened for this to be the case, for that basically not to be an option. Like, is it something that Slatra did, or is this like a result of how she was mended? Something with the pieces of Slatra, maybe, whatever like was used to heal her in some way. I don't know. It just kind of made me question why she wouldn't be able to just kind of like come back into that life as Elowen.
Well, yeah. And after finishing this section and then seeing this note and kind of thinking about it some more, I'm starting to feel like Elowen intentionally had her mind wiped, like before or after she fell from the sky. And that maybe because we know that something like Veya's bangle can contain memories that have been erased, which maybe it wasn't intentionally wiped, but it could also be that her memories are in the diadem containing Kalis, if that had to be removed from her head somehow, because no one has ever survived having the crown removed. So I don't know if like maybe part of it is that she like doesn't bear that anymore and it is holding on to those memories, or maybe when she came back down, she was so devastated about everything that happened that she couldn't bear to live with the pain and had the memories erased or something. And maybe it's a similar situation that we were just joking about with Veya, where like, no, we've been here before. And she's just like choosing, because she's choosing to do it here, that she feels like it's too painful to continue with this, you know, half memories of Con or something. So I don't know.
See, around this point, I was thinking that the memories weren't totally gone, whether they were trying to like mind weft or any sort of magic to get rid of memories. I was thinking, well, they can't be totally gone because we see her being in this place, bringing back some memory, even if it's just sensory or muscle memory, rather than like explicit imaged memories. But she's in the same place she once journaled, and not only that, but journaled about very life-altering things at the time. And it's possible, at least now in my own headcanon, that the berries she's eating now remind her of the long-forgotten younger Elowen in her journaling, because she had a penchant for like the butterberry chews and that sweet taste, because right before Rave journal she says that I ink my quill, pop a bogsberry in my mouth, the burst of tart sweetness exploding over my taste buds as I scratch my thoughts onto the parchment, the words flowing more easily than I expect them to. And that to me reads a lot like in a familiar place where you used to journal, whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
Eating a familiar thing, which is like a very sensory memory rush, and doing something that you used to do. And maybe if the memories were erased from her mind, you can't take that away from like the soul, so to speak, of like what her as a person would know and do.
Yeah. Interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I don't know. I didn't have,
Good note, Kyle.
I had read all your guys' deep notes on this, and it was just, I don't know if she has or doesn't have these memories or whatever. So I don't know. I do want to know if, like, did the girls get their memories erased at the same time?
Right.
Or was Elowen simply because she died and was up with Slatra or whatever? And Veya's in a separate instance.
It's just interesting that Veya only had like 30 days erased, and Rave literally remembers nothing.
Nothing. That's a good point.
Oh, but maybe she's older than 123, because he said that she was up in the sky for 100 phases, and she remembers the last 23 years, but nothing prior to that. So she'd be more like...
She's older than that. I meant like for Veya's, earlier when I said 123 was Veya's, I guess like she said over 100 years ago is when she forgot her 30 days is, I guess, the map I was trying to do. How old Rave is, not necessarily how old Elowen is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Chapter 67 is a Con POV, and this is just a really funny interaction with Pyrock. Really, any interaction with Pyrock is funny, but he's just there and he's just chilling, and he's got his like alcohol or whatever he's drinking at the time, because they all have wild names. And Con just asks, "What do I pay you for again?" And Pyrock says, "To sit around and look pretty." And it just made me laugh, because last week when we were talking about from the glossary where it says Pyrock's title is a not very helpful member of King Khan's imperial court, and that's what he's paid for, to sit around and look
literally it,
pretty.
yeah.
There you go.
That's his
Yeah.
job.
I think even later in the story, they're like, does he not pay you very well? And Pyrock's like,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
he pays really well for nothing, basically.
Yeah, amazing.
I love it.
And they make their way to Khan's office, and it's kind of like describing how it looks and things. And it says, illuminating the char marks all over the walls, the only embellishment this room deserves. And I was like, okay, like, did he do this or somebody else do this? And then it continues like the next paragraph. It says, I think back to the shelves that used to line these walls, packed full of memorabilia from Pa's reign. Think back to how good it felt watching it all burn after I stormed the stronghold still splashed in his blood with his head hanging from my fist. And I wrote, okay then. Got it. Answered that question.
Sweet.
Isn't it nice when she answers questions immediately?
I know. Oh, okay.
Satisfying.
But also, I get it. Like, you don't want to honor him. You want his office to be trashed. I get that. But why make it your office? Like, could you not do your own work somewhere else that's
Great
not
question.
really sucky and has all these horrible memories and has char marks all over the walls? Like,
It is a huge place. Yeah.
yeah, there's 18 doors just to get outside when from wherever that location was. Like,
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I just feel like
That's a
that's
great
really
question.
random.
Yeah. We learned in this chapter, and this was just wild to me, that Khan and Elowen spent the great flirt together.
Flirt,
Like flirt before she died. But then literally they spent that night together, and then it said the next time he saw her, she was dead and being carried up to the sky by Slatra. And I was just like, what the F happened? That no one knew why she died. So I'm like, that's part of the reason that I'm like, I'm still on my theory that she like was blackmailed or something into going to marry Tyroth and fulfill that duty to the Shade. But like, did she literally do this before where she spent the night with him and then went and had her mind erased? Are you laughing about duty still?
Yeah, she was.
I just made a tiny laugh, but then Kyle's laugh at my laugh made me laugh again. Okay, sorry.
Oh
I
my
teach
gosh.
middle school. Okay.
Oh, that's fair. So I'm just wondering, like, if she literally did this exact same thing before, where she just had a really great night with him and then was like, okay, I'm going to go have all my memories wiped so that I can go fulfill this duty that I don't want to. But then I feel like she would at least still remember what happened after that, like before, like leading up to her death. So maybe not that. I just am like so shocked that that was the last time that he had seen her before. It's crazy to me.
So how does it make you feel in this exact moment that the last time you saw Rave or Element is at the Great Flirt, on the night of the last Great Flirt? Because that's where we're at right now.
Lauren.
I literally just realized that when she was saying that, and I got like some massive Inception, like,
Anxiety,
crap.
stress.
Whoa.
Why would you do that to me?
That's where we are. I don't know.
God.
I didn't write the book.
There's only 65 pages left, Lauren.
I know.
That's really rude of you to say. Now I feel like
I
I'm
also
going to end up.
picked the stopping spot too, so my bad.
I don't like that.
Sorry.
maybe we can maybe talk about that more in thoughts and theories. Or
Yeah,
something.
we might have to.
Okay, in the end of the chapter, she says, though maybe Pyrock's right, maybe this time will be different, maybe it'll be worse. Either way, there's no one else I'd willingly serve my heart on a platter to, over and over and over again, like a hopeless, lovesick stray, begging for a treat. And this one almost got me. It almost got me.
That's the closest you've been to the cry counter.
I got a little choked up here just with the emotions of like this chapter and the previous chapter and everything building up to this, and then his little declaration here at the end. It almost got me. I got a little choked up and I was like, oh.
Is that like a
Little-
0.1, a 0.2 on the cry counter?
Nah,
Like, do we get to count
no,
it? Kyle
no.
has a 0.5 from
Did it even
a
mist-
moment in the Throne of Glass.
mist up?
story,
We
so,
both,
like,
we both had one, I think. A
Was it a
0.5.
mist? A well? Like,
Not even that. Not even a well. Not even
yeah.
a well.
Just a tremble behind the eye.
Yeah, yep. That's good. A tremble. Yeah, that's good. And this takes us into the next chapter, which is a diary entry. I have one note here. In Ellen's POV, it says, I know the things I desire are forbidden. I'm all out of reasons to care. For almost 2 phases, I've existed in this stronghold like one of the shadows. I'm done living the life I've been told to live, and not the one I want for myself. And I was like, yes, live your life, girl. F that Tyroth B. Let's go.
Go off, Queen.
yes.
Yes.
All right. Chapter 69. Ayo. Ooh, that's a rave chapter. Thank you. It starts with the Dremoji erotica. What do we call this?
It does. Yeah, Dreamoji erotica. You're right,
This
Lauren.
starts
It
with
does.
the Dreamoji erotica, and one of the descriptions of her dream was when it says, "My body was winding up," and my mind went, "My body was winding up, up, up. It's our moment. Together we're gonna be golden." Because that's where my mind is all the time.
Yeah,
with
as it
K-pop
should be.
demon hunters, and so of course I put our queen's Huntrix in our notes here so that we could stare at them
Very good.
because they're
Nice work.
everything.
They are
Thank
everything.
you.
Kyle has a big thing for Zoe.
I'm a Zoe stan. What can I say?
Wow.
Nice. All right.
But Emma always says that she's Rumi, and Faye always says she's Mira, which makes me Zoe. So I'm okay with it.
that's
She likes
nice.
Makes
Yeah.
me Bobby, I guess.
That's funny.
it. That's probably what we're all going to be for Halloween,
Genu
too.
stan. Lauren's the
yeah, of
basic
course.
girl. Wants the
And,
Genu.
yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you be?
Wants the Genu.
Don't we all?
We all.
Wants his soda pop.
So funny.
And in Ray's point of view here, a pair of saber scythes spin together, shrieking as they twist and tumble amongst a spill of aurora ribbons. Too many. And she thinks, is the sky broken? And has war come to Dom? I was like, nah, just a little dragon sex.
Not a big deal.
And
fine, girl.
and she goes out to investigate, and I was kind of hoping that she would get like some kind of jarring memory here from like being out, seeing a bunch of dragons in the sky or something. Didn't happen, but
I had same scene in the flirt. She was sort of wondering to herself, perhaps this is that? Talking about the great flirt? The dragons in the sky certainly look like they're flirting.
But she spelled it FLU, like
She did.
the great flirt.
RRT.
and I freaked out here because this never occurred to me, and I was like, "Oh my god, flirt, FLIRT!" It even
made
when
the
I
joke in
made
the
fun of
pod.
it. I know,
I know.
even
I
when
thought that's why you thought it was funny.
even when I made fun of it in that initial part, or when I said I read through the glossary and I was like, "Great flirt," yeah, never occurred to me until this moment when I
Wow.
read through it. I was like, "Oh my god, it makes so much sense now."
Yeah.
I also love in the audiobook that this was like sort of a rolled R almost. So when she
flirt.
says this, it's like the dragons in the sky
Purring.
certainly look like they're flirt. I can't even do it. Flirt.
Flirting.
I literally can't do it. Yes, like that. It's so cute. And then continuing this line, she goes, "Good for them. At least somebody's fucking in real life and not just in their dreams."
Yep, coming off of the Dramoji erotica.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
But yeah, so she heads outside and then she notices the basket with the dress and everything in there. And Con put his Malmer in the box for Rave along with that gorgeous dress mask for the great flirt and the note that says, "Dance with me." And I was melting in my hoodie. Like just yes. This one got all the feels from
Me
me.
too. My note said, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
Was I
You're both
the,
just reading it together, sitting on your bed, kicking your
Yeah.
feet together. Like, you guys having a cute
What
little
part are
moment for
you at?
God. Did you read it? Did you read it?
Was I the only one for the art for that note in that book when it came up? I flipped like all the way back to knee at the beginning to compare the handwriting.
Oh,
good.
nice. No,
Not
I
do
didn't.
that. Did it match?
They're not the same, no. But I did flip all the way back. I was like, oh.
Nice. Good idea, though.
idea.
It's because Kazari wrote it. They're not the same.
And then the chapter kind of ends out. I think this is Rave's, yeah, in her POV. But what a spectacular way to go out. She's thinking about kind of doing it for them, giving them one last like night, basically. A goodbye fit for everything we used to be. The quiet acknowledgement I now see that I owe us, him, before I erase it all. So I wrote this initially because for some reason I thought this was where we were ending our chapter section. So I was like, I have so much anxiety about what she's planning to do when she talks like this. Also, fucking damn it, because I thought this is where we were ending, and I was so upset. Thankfully, we
epic
weren't.
shopping spot, yes.
I literally immediately texted Con, and I was like, wait, we stop at 68? And she's like, no, 79. And I was like, oh my God, thank the Lord. 79, so I have 11 chapters. But that rolls into our next chapter, another diary entry. Elowen POV again. She says, I began to get nervous, wondering if it was an ambush. if someone wanted to slaughter me to steal the ether stone, thinking it some priceless treasure and not the soul-sapping curse it is. And at this point, there had been so many diary entries so far, I totally forgot that she was still wearing it, because we're getting so much of Rave, not having it, and then going back to Elowen, and it's just like, I totally forgot that she still had it on through all these diary entries.
Yeah, so like through all of this stuff with Slata and her like being in the like hutch or whatever with her and all of that heartbreak and everything, that the ether stone is also like feeding off of her. I don't really know how it does that, but like, soul sapping curse or whatever. So it just makes it extra sad. But she goes through the jungle and eventually does find their little house that Con makes for her out there in the middle of nowhere. And he says, he told me this place was his gift to me, but that he didn't have to come with it. That one word from me and he'd step out into the jungle and never return. And I just like highlighted specifically that, but he didn't have to come with it part, and just wrote, stop it, God. Just because he would do that for her. He just found her a quiet place that she could escape and not be around everything, and didn't like want any expectations to come with it, that he was also required to be there. Like he was just doing it for her. And just so sweet.
So sweet. He's the best.
What a man. And chapter 71, another Rave chapter. And in her POV again, she says, when I have Con erased from my memories, I'll need to snip all tethers to the past me, to Elowen. And I just wrote, why?
No.
Why? She's freaking out. And then I thought this was super funny. She's thinking about how she modified her dress for the flirt. And in her POV, it says, I release my inner crafty bitch and let her shine. And I was like, oh, that's a new affirmation for Con right there. Like, come on.
I love this for me. Thank you.
I loved this for her. This was adorable. And just her like
adorable.
All of her like shopping and she did for the little jungle house and like fixing the chairs and doing all the things. And then for her outfit too. Big fan.
Yes.
And then she goes with Pyrock and they actually get to like, I guess, the festivities that is the Great Flirt. And I just thought this was a really neat like way to celebrate, I guess, the Great Flirt. Instead of just like staring outside and looking at all the dragons or whatever, they created like these 3 domes, each to be a faux representation of the different nesting grounds. And so like not only were they like 3 different locations that you could go and like kind of see what it's like for those who will never travel there, but it was so cold in the Netherin one that like literally they were freezing and you could see their breath, and they're in the middle of the burn, which is like the hottest place all the time. So like they really put in some work and effort. So this is just a shout out to the party planners, the city officials. They really put in the work for this one. Con has been gone for 30 days, not signing all the paperwork.
True.
So it's just like they're did
running the show.
So, shout out to the people of the burn.
The burn planning committee.
Put that on a shirt.
The Great Flirt.
Burn Parks and Rec
Flirt.
Department.
Yes, the Burn Parks and Rec Department.
Oh my gosh.
My next note here, I thought this description was so interesting. Like, Sarah does so well to share how Rave is feeling here, like walking into the staged area for the shade at the flirt. But it says, a flock of something takes flight within my belly, something that makes no sense. Con's not here. He's elsewhere. Why won't my feet move forward? And Pyrock says, you okay? I didn't take you for the hesitating sort. I search for a sharpened edge I can use to throw something quippy back, finding them all blunt and rounded, soft and floppy. I swallow, still staring at that triangular opening to the swirl of dusky motion beyond. No, I don't think I am okay, she thinks. And then she says out loud, I'm fine, I lie, then straighten my spine, force my feet forward, and shove past the flap, engulfed by a swallow of darkness. Like, what an incredible little paragraph right so there. Good. Just to go through how she's feeling and her hesitation there. Just so good. So good.
Well, and I think it goes on to talk about how she feels like she's been there before and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like some of those that go back to kind of what Kyle was saying with some of that like subconscious memories still maybe being there, or some of those like feelings and stuff that couldn't 100% be erased away.
Yeah. Amazing. And it takes us to chapter 72, still Rave. This is about Pyrock here. It says, a moonplume's breath in one hand, which is that drink that they were serving. The other cupping a dragon's egg filled with curly fried things, capped in a glob of white sauce. And I had to call it out because he's rocking some food. Like, the man after my own heart. I just wrote, my man. He's got snacks, man. And what was funny is in the time it took from her to walk over to this is when she was walking over to the pillars. Yeah. And he's
shows
like,
up with food.
where are you going? Until the time he follows her over there, which seems literally like 5 seconds. He has this in his hand and he's going into there with her. I was like, dude is quick on it. He knows where everything is.
That is strong.
That was great.
I also highlighted this section, but I'm on the planning committee. I just wrote, I love the themed food. They got the little dragon's egg, like the bowls. It's
They
like
got
Disney
signature
World.
drinks.
You go, yeah. It's like you get your little
Disney
popcorn
World.
bucket for each, as you
A light up
hop
flute that you can
between all
take
the
home.
thing. Yes, he's drinking around the Great Flirt, like around all the
Yeah.
different places. It's like
He's
Epcot.
wearing like
Flirt.
big fake dragon ears on his head, catching up with her.
Exactly.
Hey, come on.
Go to all the different nesting grounds.
Yeah, for real.
Hatching grounds. What are they called?
That's what this
my
party
gosh.
is. It's just Epcot. Shout out to the Burn Planning Committee. Good job.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay. I had a note here about the Octomars because it says they can weave promises upon flesh, binding them to blood, body, and soul. And I was like, why does she feel familiar with this creature? Because it said something about it being familiar to her. And at first I was like, did she and Con, like Elwyn and Con, weave some sort of forever promise on each other's skin before she died or something, because they have that ongoing like forever thing. But revisiting this now, I'm like, I feel like the creature was more just here for this particular part of the plot. It was just interesting to me that it was like familiar. I just kept getting hung up on that.
I wonder how it, because it weaves the things on their skin or however it does that. Like, does that show up with Dragon Flame? Is that like
Right.
some of these runes and stuff? Is she hiding that? Because she keeps trying to hide these from Con specifically. And I have notes on that later.
That's true.
Like, is it something like this?
It could have also been maybe Sarah's way of just like, because it's a weird creature, like
Yeah.
the way it's described visually and what it does or whatever. So I think it might have been good for her to like describe it like that and then have Rave be like, but all of that's fine. I know it. It's like,
Yes.
it's not gonna be doing any attacks on anyone or anything. It's like, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Well,
Yeah,
or
I never
yeah.
once thought it was like a hostile thing or was worried about it. I
Yeah.
guess, so.
Right.
Maybe that's why. Yeah, because like in Quicksilver, we were talking about the main character making deals without really knowing what they meant. So maybe this was just her way of just like explaining that she knows what the what the boundaries are with this thing.
I was thinking too, if it's a common like dealer for this game, then she might just like intuitively recognize it as a dealer if she's like really good at Scrippy and she plays a lot.
That's true. Well, yeah, and she seems to know that she could, like trade a wish or whatever it was. What did she trade with them? Was it a wish?
Like
Or
a
a
not a
favor.
promise, but like,
Like
a
a promise,
wager
like a-
or something.
I thought it was a favor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A
favor,
favor. So she
yeah.
was, going to be able to trade a favor with them. Like she's maybe been at these like high roller tables
Yeah.
before or
Yeah.
something.
I do like that idea, John, of it being like the creature known for dealing this game. Like, oh, yeah. Scrippy. And maybe there's some people who play it without one and they're like, oh, you don't got Noctomar? That's not Scrippy.
Which makes sense as if it's got,
This is
because
the
I
high
pictured it
roller
as
game.
having like a bunch of
Yeah.
tentacles, basically.
Right,
So
yeah.
that
Yeah.
would totally make sense to be a dealer. It's just like flopping out of
Makes
the
him a
car.
little
It's like that
uniform or
one
something.
monster from Monsters Inc. that's cutting all the sushi at the very beginning. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah, I
It just
do.
be like that.
That's an Octomar. Yep.
Yeah.
That's an octopus. That's what it looks like.
Classic.
Well, she does sit down at this table and totally wipes the floor with these guys, which is hilarious. And that's in the next chapter. But one of the first things they say is to say, like, whatever the sweet thing needs. And she's like, I'm not sweet and I'm certainly not a thing. And I was like, tell him, girl.
Yes.
Tell him. And then he keeps, that same guy keeps coming back with that, like, whatever the sweet thing, italics, whatever. And I was like, she's gonna either kill you or completely embarrass
He's just
you. And
legitimately never seen
Take
a
all
girl
your money.
before. Thing, I don't know.
whatever this thing is.
I know what an octomar is, but I don't know what a female is.
It's like talking to his buddies, help me out here. What is that thing?
So yeah, we continue into chapter 73 where Rave does totally wipe the floor with these guys because she's a hustler baby. And one particularly sore loser throws his pipe across the room and storms out. And I love that she yells, "Keep practicing," as he leaves.
Well, you
made
can
me
just
laugh so
imagine her
hard.
sitting there counting her money as she says
Yeah.
it in like the most condescending way ever.
Keep practicing. Oh my gosh. And then in her little memory of Con, it says us moving together beneath a shaft of silver light. And there's so many times that silver light has been mentioned specifically. And this was like a random time for it to come up. But I'm like, what is up with the silver? Like there's silver light coming from her now, right? Like whenever she, like during the Tuca trial, she was like radiating silver light or something. And then she was hiding from Con, like when there was dragon flame around. So I don't know if it has anything to do with that, but that would have been from Elwyn.
Is this the Aurora ribbon that she keeps referencing?
I thought it was maybe something with the moons, like the moon.
Or
Because I don't remember if it's she references this if it's during the daytime or nighttime.
Yeah.
But if it's in the burn, then the
always
sun's always out.
Yeah. Oh, that's
so maybe
true.
it's like reflecting off of the ribbon,
Or maybe-
Or the moon. That's right.
or the moon.
Or it was a specific memory from the last Great Flirt because it
From
said
the
there were
flirt.
more aurora
Right, 'cause there are
thingies
more-
in the sky than normal
That's what I was thinking too.
threads, whatever they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aurora-
So-
Aurora thing.
Whatever this thing is.
Lots of thingies out in the flirt. Lots of dragon things.
Lots of thingies out.
waving around up there
Gosh.
Oh
like flags in the wind.
You can't even look down, you just see the shadow.
Wow.
Oh my. So anyway, this is where Con tells Rave that she, meaning Elwyn, bound with another male. And I wrote in all caps, "It was Tyroth. I am so right." But I thought I was about to be proven right. And he was like, "Do you want to know who it was?" And she was like, "No."
Yeah.
It's like, damn it,
Classic.
Rave. I want to know.
Yes, and as they're like having their conversation here, she kind of thinks back to Elwyn having her own secrets, that she was hiding some things most likely. And it says, but secrets earn their title for a reason, often painted in an illusionary veil because they're painful to look in the eye. Con hasn't felt the shape of my emotions while we were together in that place, but I have, and I'm almost certain my lost memories are a blessing in disguise. The Elwyn's secrets hurt. I have no desire to uncork that bottle and condemn myself to sipping the poison it undoubtedly holds, if even for a moment. And this made me realize that she's probably doing the same thing to him now that she did before leading up to the note that she left him. And she just like doesn't realize it. And I know we just kind of talked about that with Lauren, your comment about like we're almost in the same spot
Yep.
that he's
Same night.
referencing.
Yeah.
Same night, same event, possibly very similar events leading up to and into like the celebration or whatever. So yeah.
Crazy. If only I let you read the last 65 pages. This
We'll
episode
still
would be like
have
10
no
hours
answers.
long.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't really have a lot of notes from this chapter. I just highlighted this one really cute line from Con specifically. But they're having this like conversation and he's trying to give her information and she just keeps shutting him down. And finally says, "I don't understand why you still look at me like you want me." And Con says, "Rave, you could flay me down in the middle and I'd still fucking love you." But he calls her Rave. He doesn't like, I just love that he wants Rave and whoever Rave is just as much as he wants Elwyn and whatever Elwyn was. Like he understands that she's not the same. Like he gets it. And I just love it for, he's great.
He is. He's
10
the
out of
best. Yeah. And then they're making this sort of bargain.
John.
What?
Don't
I'm
even
just
know.
frolicking over here. Like,
Frolicking.
He just loves him.
Oh my gosh. So they're making these like bets or whatever for their game of Scrippy. And Con says, "If I win, you will answer 3 questions from me, truthfully." And I wrote, "Ooh, this is going to be good." And then now I'm really bummed we didn't get to hear what his questions were because I want to know. I feel like he had very specific strategic questions that he was going to ask and then we didn't get them.
Well, even Rave
What's your
said,
favorite
like,
color?
I know exactly what kind of questions he's going to ask me or something. And I was like, well, I wish I did.
Yeah. I want to know. It's rude. And then Rave says, "And if I win, we pretend we're the ones who existed in that place I suspect you built for us, but only until the next aurora rise, at which stage you'll owe me a single wish." And I wrote, wait, I want them to be together, but this is so terrible of Rave to do to Con. Do we get a red flag diary for this for Rave?
I didn't have one, but you are right. That's not that great.
I just feel like this is so selfish because he's going to remember.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I mean, I liked it, but I didn't like it.
Yeah, and he asks her just flat out, like, what will happen at Aurora Rise? And he pushes her a little bit on it, and she says, I will have a mind weft to smudge you from my brain. Get back to reality. The wish is precautionary. When I read this, I was just thinking I was afraid of something like this, that she would have some assistance in helping her forget in some way.
Yeah, and I'm guessing the wish was like for Con to leave her alone forever or let her go do it. Because why not make all of this even worse for him? But I'm just like, it made me like mad for him because she knows that he's been waiting this whole time. Like the whole 100 phases that she was up in the sky, he was suffering. And then the last 23 phases, he was painstakingly piecing her whole dragon back together for her. And I'm like, and she's just gonna wipe him from her memory because she doesn't want to deal with it.
Yeah. Well, and she also knows that he would listen to whatever the wish was. Like if the wish was to let her go or to move on. Like she knows that he would also listen to that.
Yes, she's like abusing his loyalty.
100%.
I will say, in some senses, yes. In other senses, she doesn't know him, and he has admitted that he doesn't know the current version of her. Yeah. So she cannot put the emotional bearing of his response to her desires on herself.
That's true. It's a good point.
I disagree.
Counselor Kyle. Objection.
Wholeheartedly, no.
As much as it would suck for him so much, but she can't control other people's responses.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And my next note, she even says, he may think it's cruel, but I refuse to barter with his well-being. And loving me, it's a fucking death wish. Yeah. And I wrote, such is love. And then last note here of the chapter says, he's watching me, his stare so intense it almost siphons the breath from my lungs. Not that I let on. And I was just like, my heart just breaks for Con. And I wrote here, I think she's going to win, but not go through with the mind weft thing, which I was partially right, just in kind of a different way. Mm-hmm. Which takes us into chapter 74, another...
All right. Okay, so chapter 74. Is it ironic, or maybe I just thought it was, that when they're playing Scrippy here, she has the Moon Plume card, he has the Saber Scythe card, and then like earlier in the book, like Con had to like pull off a giant tick off of Raygun, and that was like a whole moment and stuff, and then that's what she uses to like kill the Saber Scythe and all the things. Like just seemed
all the parallels.
You know? Yeah, I don't
know. No, it's not ironic. That's coincidental.
Is it a coincidence?
Is it coincidence? I think not.
Anyways, I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, so she wins the game, the card game, of course, and it mentions that his mood like instantly changes. It says there's a hardness in his eyes I've never seen before, cold, detached. So, he says, and a chill scuttles up my spine as his upper lip peels back from his canines. Would you like me to come around and bend you over the table? He tips his head to the side. Fuck you right here so we can get it over with? Or would you like to draw it out a bit? And I was like, my man, always playing the game.
I mean, if this was a different...
Tomorrow?
Yeah. I imagine him like backpedaling and all of his tentacles.
I'll get out of here.
Like a Nick.
No?
An Octomar version of Nick's backpedal from New Girl. Yeah, all of his arms are like...
I mean, in a different type of fantasy novel, that would totally just happen right there in that moment. So I was like, okay. Oh, well, no, it's Con. It's probably not.
I did have a note here about my whole emotional struggle with this bet situation where Rave in her POV says, though I may not be the one he lost, I could give him the goodbye I don't believe he got, but undoubtedly deserves. And so I was like, okay, I guess I could see how she's gaslit herself into thinking this is also some sort of mercy toward Con, because she does want him to have that like version of her that he wants. And I think she really wants to be loved by him, but doesn't know how to accept it for real. So she's like, this is the part where I was singing Adele songs in the shower today, as one does. And the song All I Ask came on. And I was like, oh, this is like in a weird reverse way, totally 100% fitting for this situation. So there's my contribution to the playlist for this chapter section.
Yeah, it's growing. Well, and it's like she wants to be loved by him, but the reason she doesn't know how to accept it is because she refuses to learn any of the information. Or like she's afraid of, I guess, that truth. So she's just doing it to herself.
Yep.
But she finally asks him, dance with me. And he says, lead the way, prisoner 73. And I do think the whole prisoner 73 thing is cute. But I also think that Con uses that name specifically when he is detached from her.
Yeah.
Or like trying to maybe like distance himself, like protect his own feelings and emotions. Like that's...
Counselor Kyle approved.
I know, I got the big okay sign from Kyle.
I literally thought that, but I didn't leave a note. I was like, oh, distancing language.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't know. He's trying to like be there for her and all this stuff, but like he's clearly hurt. I don't know. Handles it like a pro though. He's amazing.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
like
he does.
before the whole he handles it all right. Before, I mean, when we have like what did you call it, John? The emoji not erotica earlier. They got to a point and she said that it didn't mean anything. And he was like, well, if this doesn't mean anything, I'm not doing it. So I'm like, I feel like he's like, he also wants to indulge, but like,
Oh yeah.
feels like he needs to be distanced too.
But I think
So
even in
sad.
that moment, he's like, go to your room, prisoner 73. Like, and he calls her that again. Like,
Yeah.
that's just his like go-to distancing name.
Sad. Okay, well, chapter 75 is a Con POV. And my first highlight was in his POV when he thinks only her, the only beam of light I'll ever need or want in this world. My love for her sitting like a moon in my chest. Only this moon will never fall, no matter how hard she tugs on it. And I wrote, oh my God, this is so sweet.
I think in the same POV or shortly after, he's like kind of finishing up his thoughts and he says, despite my weaknesses, my shortcomings. And I wrote, you have those? Where are they? They're nowhere, Con.
Oh, man. And again, in his POV, he says, I think he may be even talking to her, but he says, I don't want the perfect goodbye, saying to Eloise. I want to say hello to Rave, whoever that is, whoever's tucked beneath that hardened exterior. I want to know her. And then I just wrote, pictured below Con Vagor, and it's just a picture, I don't know, of a very American man trying to hold a lot of green flags and failing.
Waving them around.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what to do with all these green flags.
Yes.
Perfect. And they finally get to dancing, and it kind of explains that he is like caressing her, taking his hands down her spine or something. I forget what it specifically is that makes her like kind of feel a certain way. But she says, your hands know me, she whispers. Yes, I murmur against her hair. Know you, crave you, worship you. And my note was just,
I didn't know what the L's meant, but that
That's
makes
what
a
it
lot
means.
more sense.
That's what it means. And then when the saber scythe comes down and spits the dragon flame or whatever, it says, I tuck Rave behind me as a plume of dragon flame pours across the dome, preparing to catch it should my blood runes fail. And I was like, wait, what does this mean? Like was it I'm assuming it was protecting the domes since they didn't get damaged, or like, well, I was questioning if it was like ruining his body, but it sounds like it was protecting the domes in some way, which I thought was kind of sweet. But I guess it makes sense after he mentioned that, like, here a little bit later as they're doing the hide and seek thing, he says he can bring the pillars down like they're not actually ice. So it sounds like he did a lot of maybe the work to put some of this stuff up or whatever. So
For the committee. Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
So
But
did he stay up
also-
year round since he's been gone for the last month?
That's what I was just thinking too. I was like, how did he do this?
Well, and I mean, we just learned we reviewed, I guess, with the wield that it takes like blood of a Dagamork to make that. So maybe these like runes or something. Like
Oh, yeah.
And being
Yeah.
a blood rune, like his has some sort of extra power.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Con is looking for Rave because she's like hiding from him. And it says he follows the intangible path of Rave's butterberry scent. And we have a candle watch, you guys.
Butterberry. Nice.
She does eat a lot of butterberry chews.
Yeah.
That she do.
She do that.
That she do.
She really do be eating those.
Okay. So the dragons spit out fire, as John said. And the dragon flame, that's what it made me think of. The dragon flame makes her runes extra visible or whatever. And that's when she like runs to hide. But for some reason, I thought that Con had already seen her runes at the Tuca trial. So maybe not.
Right?
And that didn't happen. So she's still trying to hide them? Question mark.
Well, she was like curled up in a ball, wasn't she, during the Tuca trial? When
Yeah,
she
but,
was like
the
glowing.
one lady still saw them. I would assume they're still all over her back or wherever else. I don't.
Yeah. I don't know
But
if
obviously, he was also very distracted at that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Rygun and Honk and
Honk.
whatever else. Yeah, Honk.
Honk. Well, they said that like the one specifically that stood out was the wound in her heart, but I don't know if she knows anything about that or if she was trying to specifically hide that from him because he wouldn't have seen that if she was curled up
Yeah.
before.
But this is where I started thinking about like with the, what is it called? An
The Octomar?
Octomar. I want to say Oculus, like Kyle's
Oh.
3D eye thing that he wears.
It's VR.
His VR.
It's
Oh
VR.
my God. So sorry. That thing you put on your face and then walk around the living room. You haven't done that in a very long time, actually, but we do have one of
You're
those.
welcome.
Anyways, the Octomar. This is when I started thinking of that with like, has she made some sort of deal or something that she doesn't want him to see that he would recognize? Or is she just ashamed of like the bajillion scars that she potentially has? Because she's clearly been like, what's it called? Flesh thread, like a bunch of times or however. Bea had talked about and stuff. Or is it just the one across her heart? Like, what is she ashamed of? What is she specifically trying to hide? Is she just trying to not get his pity in this moment with like his reaction? Or is she actually trying to hide something important? I don't know.
Well, and I keep thinking about this stuff keeps making me think about how Sareem still has her blood in that vial. So I don't know if she's like made other deals or something. That is an interesting thought. But I'm also like, I don't know. That was like a big deal early in the book. And I don't know if that's a long distance thing, if she can make Rafe do something like that from far away, or if, I don't know. But I just keep thinking about that. Hi, Goldie. Hello, with the big ears.
We can continue. She's just
Goldie doesn't make appearances very often.
I know. She was sleeping.
Oh, baby Goldie. So cute.
No, don't lick my face.
Well, my next note, it's sort of in that same section when Rave tells Con that this conversation will not continue until he turns around and closes his eyes, and he does so. And he says, in his mind, small flapping things soar through my chest while I wait, for better or for worse. And I said, dude's got butterflies and also doesn't know what a butterfly is.
Actually, Kyle, they don't have butterflies here. They have salmoths. Get your world building
So he doesn't know what those are either, I guess.
No, I guess not.
And as they are playing hide and seek through the dome, and she tells him to close his eyes, and she's like planting kisses on him, and she asks like, where else? And he says, my lids. And it says she used to kiss them when she thought I was asleep. Of all the things I've missed during the many phases I've lived, I've missed that the most. Went, oh, my heart. Oh.
No, when I read that, I was like, I would literally punch a person. If I was asleep and they tried to kiss my eyelids, I'd be like, no. But I'm glad
I probably
you
just
thought
try
that
to
was cute.
open my eyes. Like, what's happening?
And then, and then he's coming to the realization of what she's trying to do, basically, like what her plan is. It says, meaning she'd rather be alone for eternity, alone and happily naive. Unfortunately for her, I have a responsibility I refuse to cower from. And I just wrote, my man. Yes, let's go. Let's do this thing. Like, need to give her some hard truths here.
Except he doesn't.
Well,
Not hard truths.
yeah, he gives her something hard for sure. You know what I mean?
Okay, so this takes us to another diary entry, and she is back at their little jungle house. I don't know what else we're calling that besides their jungle house. And she says that the stone is happy here, like Con asked Boulder's permission before he hollowed out the cliff to make our space, as if Boulder gladly yielded. So we saw this earlier when she went into the house the first time, and I was talking about how Claude and Boulder seemed like they wanted her to be there, and also that Boulder was like happy, I guess, or like had a humming, calm presence whenever she went to like Slotcher's tomb. So I wonder if this is like is this like a specific thing with Elwyn or Rave, or whatever? Or is this like things that the gods do all over the place and like take requests from people to, like, if Con asked Boulder's permission, or if have other places that they're just happy, or I don't know. Just, I want to know what the gods are up to, I guess.
That is interesting, though, too, because her bloodline, at least, or her specifically, she would be blessed by the gods because she was destined to, like, bear the diadem to contain Kalis. So it's interesting that, like, they might still be doing things in her favor, even though she doesn't wear the diadem anymore. Because, like, that's,
well, this
again,
is a diary entry specifically
that's right. So she did
so
still
she
have
is wearing it. Yeah.
Okay. So then, yeah, maybe it was, I guess it could be specific to her, or she and Con are fated mates.
And the gods are here for it.
Yeah. And they're also waving all their green flags at Con Vagor.
All of them.
But then, yeah, I mean, if she already is wearing the diadem, culturally, they are saying that they want her to be with someone who is like a tri-bead. But if the gods are in favor of her and Con being together, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either. I just want to know. Yeah. I guess every fantasy book ever, I just like a sit down with the gods and just have like a, let me know what's going on. But we never get that. I mean, I guess we kind of do, but like still not.
Yeah.
A god cast, if you will.
Yeah.
Godcast.
A god cast.
If we could interview anyone on the pod.
It would be God.
Say, everybody welcome Boulder. And it's just like rumbling in the mic.
This guy.
Here's Rain, and she's just screaming.
Oh, wow. Okay. And then earlier, Con showed up with the Malmer and like had created it. But this is the time that he actually gets down on his knees, took the necklace off, and offered it to Elwyn and called it his Malmer. And so I'm like, is this like an engagement? Like, is that the level of handing your Malmer to someone? Is that like...
I feel like it is.
I
with
feel
how
like it's a
seriously
big
he takes
deal.
it. Yeah.
Right. He's
Yeah,
on
and-
both needs. This is a pleading.
Well, it would be kind of like earlier whenever in the Tuca trial, he like got down on his knees and like, bared his whole back to her and like held it up above his head and offered it to her. It's kind of what I'm imagining here too. And that is like an engagement because like he literally fights for the right to be like her husband or whatever. So I just think like she has no idea what this moment means. But like for Con, this is like a big, big, big deal. And it was cute to see. So
Is this at the beginning when they talk about how some fae have like a bound? Is that culturally like only in the fade and then maybe in the burn it's this? Like this is their version of that? Do we know?
I took this Malmer thing to be more not necessarily the burn and whole, but that like specific tribe or
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
of whatever that Con stayed with for all that time.
The Jalkol clan.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and then this diary entry ends with her saying, "Most of all, I beg for them, the creators, to keep Con safe, living, breathing. I've lost so much already. The thought of losing him too, it's buckling." And I wrote, Sarah A. Parker, "If you take Con Vagor from me, we will have beef, ma'am." We will have beef.
Oh, I wasn't worried for Con. But like, should I be? Is that why he's not on people's top book boyfriend list? Okay, let me get into my whole rant about chapter 77. This is a rave POV chapter. Thank you. She's looking at Con and it says, "I think back to some of the memories I've been struck with since I almost died from that head injury at the crater, frowning. In not one of them was he so covered in scars." And I wrote, "What happened to him?" with the frowny face. And then I wrote, "Who did this to you?"
This is a who did this to you moment. Good
Yeah,
job.
thank you.
I said maybe it's like his hunt for the moon shards, maybe. And then I put a picture of Mike Wazowski with the cuts all over his hands from when he put together Boo's door for Sully. And maybe that's how he got all those scars.
It's a lot of wood to go through.
This is also my second Monsters Inc. reference in this episode. I don't know.
We have
But
not even watched
maybe
it
all the
recently.
scars, yeah, they're from the moon shards.
But those memories back where they came from were so healthy.
Are so healthy.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Okay, let me continue. I have a lot of notes here. One of my notes is just that I still need more info on Fallon because she has another like PTSD moment from Fallon's death. And all of them are heartbreaking, but we still don't know freaking anything about Fallon or what happened to her. But then I thought we were going to get some more information here because Con says there are ... others who would be affected by your sudden return. One in particular, you need to know the truth. And I wrote, let's go, because I thought he was about to tell her all the things that I said last week. And he didn't. At least not yet. But now I'm nervous it's not going to happen at all. But then Con says, you haven't dreamt about us in this sleep space? And Rave thinks yes, and then she says no. He quirks a deep brow. Really? Because you said otherwise while you were 4 drinks deep being thrown about the dance floor to a thumping jig in the Boggeth Dome. Her POV says, my cheeks heat. Course I did. I wrote LOL classic.
See, they were drinking their way around.
Epcot.
And they made it to the Boggeth Dome, and she's 4 drinks deep. It makes sense. That's really what it is.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. And then he ends this chapter by saying, tell me, Rave. And he's like planting kisses on her neck. The next words rumbled against her ear. How did I fuck you in your dreams? And I highlighted that and wrote, I'm speechless. And like, go on. And he does into chapter 78.
He sure does.
A little something like this.
And on. Oh my gosh. And then Rave. So this is chapter 78 now, our last chapter for this section. 78. Rave says, you're biased, sire. And Con says, no, I'm fucking obsessed. He growls, wrapping his other hand around my face and jerking me forward. And I wrote, no, I'm fucking obsessed.
Okay, I was just as into this moment and this scene as you were, but this one thing really confused me. And again, maybe every time I'm confused on something, I feel like I bring it up and I'm really nervous it's another pig sticker situation. So I'm sorry if I'm just a dummy and I don't understand this. But she says in her POV, my attention hones in on the hardness pressed against my backside, the muscles under my tongue tingling. And I wrote, the muscles under my tongue?
She wants to blow him. And then she does.
Okay, but okay. I mean, I don't
Those
get
are
it.
the muscles that produce drool, which acts as a lubricant.
Sure.
Sex counselor Kyle.
I'm sitting here being like, what? And I'm trying to like figure out what muscles those are. Anyway.
You're like looking in the mirror.
I had to bring this up since I brought it up, and I think it was the last chapter section. But in Ray's POV, I groan as he pumps me full, my body singing for his ministrations. And I wrote, I'll allow it. This time.
If they're Con's ministrations, they're acceptable.
All right. And then Con finally just says, out of nowhere, I've made a decision. You're not erasing me. I was like, valid. So valid. Let her know. And he goes on and says, I spent over 100 phases crushed beneath the weight of your death, wrecking myself, trying to shed the hurt from my heart. Do you know how much easier it would have been for me to simply remove you from my mind? And I'm like, tell her.
Yes, tell her. And then he says, I'm not your secret. I'm your truth. And I put a gif of the snaps. And I was like, period. Con. I love this from him. And then, this did make me laugh out loud, though, when Con is like edging her, basically, in order to get her to agree. And so I put like when Con beats her at her own game, basically. And in her POV, it says, I really don't appreciate having a mirror shoved in my face while I'm edging toward an orgasm. Also super into this scene, but that made me like buzz out laughing. That was funny. And then I had a couple of different highlights just of things that Con Luke Vegor says in this section. The first one being reach back and put your hands on the wall, which was really giving Cassian in this moment.
That's just what I was thinking. Yeah.
That was a good one. And then he says, don't blink, Moonbeam, and tell me if it's too much. And I put melting in my hoodie again. And then the gift from New Girl at the Prince episode again, where Nick and Jess are just like screaming.
Nick passes out. I added to your Con Luke Vegor note here.
Thank you.
And it's when Rave presses her palm to his heart, beating at the same rhythm as her own. And he says, you feel that he rumbles, setting his hand on top of mine and holding over the thumping organ. His eyes take on a lighter shade that almost looks like reverence. You found us, Moonbeam.
Oh my god. Swooning.
Swoon.
I love him. Yes. And then I was kind of freaking out here because Con says, but there's someone out there who needs you, and needs is italicized. And I wrote, Kazari did write need, didn't she?
The note?
Yes. Because I'm convinced still that this is Kazari that he's talking about. I still think Kazari is Elwyn's daughter. And then needs was in italics. Coincidence? I think not.
Well, the sentence goes on to say, and you're going to change their life even more than you've changed mine. So whoever this person is, big deal.
Yeah, except I thought that we were going to find out in this chapter section.
Same.
So Con ends the freaking chapter by reiterating that this conversation is what Rave agreed to, but I thought he was going to prove me right here, and he still hasn't said it, and now I'm getting worried that this conversation isn't going to happen because he keeps saying they're going to have the conversation.
Yeah.
He's a
And
man
there's
of his
only
word. How dare
65
you?
pages.
Stop reminding me. And that's it.
And
That's it.
yeah,
Into the
and
chapter
only
section.
about 10 minutes away from being able to read those chapters if you want to. So initial, well, not even initial at this point. I mean, what are our current thoughts and impressions on characters, John?
Grim will live.
Huzzah.
I
Rooting,
forgot about him already.
I'm rooting for him and can only assume that he will return at the most opportune time. Also, and I wrote, in a world of fantasy books where like amnesia or memory alteration or something like that is probably pretty commonly written into the plot, I just feel like it's very creatively done in this book. Like this whole time I've expected her to suddenly be brought back to the person she was before, like I mentioned, memories and all, like ready to carry on where they left off or something. But I think it's clear at this point that there's more to the story and it won't be, you know, quite as seamless as we all want it to be. So which honestly, it leaves us in like such a amazing suspenseful mystery, not to mention with how she writes like Con's emotions. It's like we're living the same experience of yearning for Rave and Elwyn to go back to what they had. It's amazing. And speaking of Con, he is currently tied for my #1 fantasy man, and barring any detrimental acts in the last chapter section, he will most likely take the #1 spot.
Yes. Bring back yearning.
Yeah. He is up there.
He who yearns earns.
all
as
up
they
in there.
say.
He is. That's right.
All right, Con, what about yours?
I am equally excited to finish this book and also devastated to finish this book because I don't want it to end. And then I wrote, how is Convigor not everyone's top book boyfriend? I don't understand. But also maybe I don't want to understand because something could happen in the last 65 pages to change my mind, but I highly doubt it at this point. I still love Rafe, and I really do feel for her with all of the confusion and the life-changing realizations that she's being forced to process at an incredibly fast rate. Although, again, after this section, I'm like a little more skeptical that maybe she did this to herself with like a mind weft rather than just losing her memories in an accident. But I don't know. I want to know. I want to find out all the information. I love Veya. But I am still concerned for her, and I have a little bit more on that in my theories. I want more of this found family vibe from Con's crew and Dom, but everyone is separated right now. So basically, I'm already looking forward to book 2, and I will likely be rereading this one on repeat until April 28th.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, thoughts and theories then?
So I'm almost kind of hoping, and I think it would be fun, but it would also suck a bunch for like the very last chapter of the book to be the other. Like we've only had that one chapter and really no other indication or information whatsoever of what that could have been. I mean, we get like some of her, you know, stuffing her feelings and all that under the lake. I think that would throw like a major curveball here at the end of the book when we've been like following Rave and Con and Veya now so far. I put, or it will end with Grim possibly, or maybe we get like a Grim epilogue. I think that would be kind of fun. Be like,
that'd be fun.
you know, it would end with current events in some way and they'd be like, hey, this is what Grim has been up to. And it connects it somehow. I would almost expect one of the brothers to show up to Dom, although like with how they talked about their dynamic, I don't think they'd be able to just like show up like they were a regular family, being able to come and go. Like it would be more of an attack, I feel like, which maybe there's something to that. I don't know. Maybe like Kadok hears about who he let slip out of his fingers, comes to Dom for his brother, like Tyroth, you know what I mean? But I totally called the whole affair thing, though. That's basically what like Elowen and Con were doing, basically, because she was betrothed. It sounds like eventually bound to Tyroth at some point.
Yeah.
I put the question, so could he sense that since they were bound eventually? Like, does that create something between the two people, and then he could somehow sense the relationship between her and Con, and maybe that's why he had her killed or killed her. I think the mind weft. So this is what I was writing when we were talking about Veya getting in that conversation. I had to come down here and write it. I maybe think that the mind weft that Veya interacted with to get the bangle possibly has also been visited by Kazari, because she was hearing Kalis. Maybe Veya found out some info about Kalis, and the mind weft was like, oh crap, like she shouldn't know about that, and was like, erase.
Wax off.
Yeah, wax off. No more memory. 30 days.
Interesting.
Take this pill.
Well,
so yeah,
take this pill.
I don't know.
That would be interesting.
That was just like a off the cuff theory, as they were kind of talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Con, any theories from you?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm just going to retweet all my theories from last week because I know I'm right, and I am now fully, thank you for that, John. I am now fully team Kazari sent Ni, which I would like to remind everyone was also my original theory in chapter 13. Thank you very much. I think Grimm is going to come back having bonded with the giant legendary dragon. I hope. I think that would be cool instead of one of the eggs, because that's also what Elowen did. Like they went to go get dragon eggs, and then she ended up bonding the big moon plume. I think Kazari is going to have done something insane already by the time, like I feel like we're going to have to see her again by the end of this book, and I feel like she's already done something crazy because we haven't heard from her since chapter 13. I am still a little worried that something might happen to Veya because she's on this quest to unveil a bunch of secrets. Like I'm worried that because we're getting her POV, she's going to learn something super important that we as the reader will know, but that she won't make it back to like tell everybody else or something. I could see that being part of a cliffhanger at the end, but I don't want that to happen because I love Veya. Just I'm nervous there's going to be some kind of devastation in this last chapter section, and I'm scared. And then lastly, I just have a whole list of things that are still unresolved, or like people that are still just out there. So we have Rekka Ralph, aka Rexaros, Sareem and her puppet string vial of blood, the mystery runaway Prince Turin, Kazari trying to free Kalis, the Fear to Ath and the like Elding and the Flourish and all of that stuff. We know that Rave's friend Fallon died, but we still don't know how or who exactly she was. Also still don't know who had been keeping Rave imprisoned for so long and how she got out. Like whenever she woke up in the prison cell 23 phases ago. Dathea also knows that Elowen is alive, but like I agree, we totally have to have some kind of interaction with Kadok or Tyroth at some point. And then I wrote, how the F is this book going to end in 65 pages? And then I don't know. I made a note while we were recording to revisit the whole like last time seeing Rave thing, because I'm really worried about that now. I have to get up in approximately 5.5 hours, and I might end up staying awake to read this book.
Oh my gosh. Don't do that. Give yourself time that you can actually like process this book. Just find a different moment.
I can't make any promises.
Well, that takes us to the cry counter, and no one cried this episode, but that is not the end of the book. So for now, I am still at 1 for my episode 1. Connor is still at 5. Kyle's at 0. John's at an almost, and Elowen is at 4. So
welcome, Elowen, to the cry counter.
Next week, we'll be getting into chapters 79 to the very end of the book, including the glossary, if you want all that fancy info. So surely we'll have all our questions answered by then, am I right?
Right.
As always, join us on our Discord, where we have spoiler-free and spoiler-filled channels for you to talk with like-minded folks about this and any other series we've covered. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok for exclusive content, behind-the-scenes updates, podcast news, merch announcements, all the good stuff.
And of course, head on over to betweenpagesandfriends.com for Patreon perks, and of course, to sign up for our newsletter for all news and things happening at Between Pages and Friends. Till then, stay wordy, stay nerdy, don't stress, and stay blessed.
Bye-bye now. Go read the end of the book.
It's the last
I
chapter
might stress
section.
over this book.
Oh, he said don't stress.
Don't.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay.
We're at the end.
I'm scared.